existence of God.
I mean, I am 100% certain that higher power exists.
Okay.
If
Can we
you want
talk
to call
about
that God, you can call it God.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yes.
All right. So you're 100%. So yeah, like I said, I have a hobby where I talk to people for 5 minutes.
Okay. There we go.
About anything they want to talk about.
Okay.
Anything that motivates them. Is there anything that you think is absolutely true or motivates you? Something that's really important to you?
Something that motivates me.
Yeah.
I think that motivates me is, at the end of the day, we all, you ask the question, why were you born, and what's the purpose of our existence?
Whoa, you're going really deep.
Well, I mean,
Why were we born?
Yeah.
And then purpose of existence.
Yeah. But the answer is not easy because you always question yourself, am I doing what my true purpose is, right? Right?
Yes.
And so what motivates me is you get up in the morning, just you feel like at the end of the day, if you keep doing the right thing, you're going to end up where you need to be.
What do you mean by the right thing and where you need to be?
When I mean the right thing is for example, every day you get up in the morning, you have to make a decision, right? You go to work.
Yeah.
You could choose not to go to work.
True.
You get to choose, well, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to call my parents. But if you keep doing the right thing, I feel like it's going to lead you to the right place where you need to be. Because I mean, we don't know. We don't come with a guide how to get there.
We don't.
So the only thing we have is our thought or our basically our mind to tell us, or our intuition to tell us, how do I get there? And we all know that if you keep doing the right thing, you're gonna end up the right place.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
How do you determine what is the right thing?
Well, the right thing, you just have to feel it. I mean, it's like I was giving an example. If somebody asks you, help me with this thing, and if you have the ability, you have the resources to help that person, that will feel like the right thing.
Okay.
Or you can say no. And that may not be the right thing.
It may not be, but it's not automatically not the right thing.
Yeah.
You could have other things that you had to get done at the time.
That's true, but the thing you may have to get done might be the right thing.
So I guess, how does someone reliably come to a conclusion on what is the right thing or what is not the right thing? Since there could be things that are right and not right.
Right. So how do you come to...
How do you determine that? What's a reliable method to determine what is the right thing?
The right or
a reliable method to figure out this is the right thing, that was not the right thing.
The right thing is, if you were to, let's say you come to the end of your life.
Okay.
If you were to look back.
Yes.
And to say, I could have done this and could have done that.
Yeah.
And things you would have regret, maybe they're not the right things.
Some of the things that I regret may not have been the right things.
Right. So you kind of try to put yourself, okay, if I were to be on my deathbed, would I have been okay doing that thing? Would that have been the right decision?
When you have a chance to reflect on your life, and you have a regret of something that you should have done or should not have done,
that's what determines. So you kind of have to put yourself in a place. Okay, imagine I'm on my deathbed.
Okay, imagine you're on your deathbed.
Right, and then you look back all the things you have done or you have not done. You have a really clear view of what could have been the right thing.
Really?
Yes. Have you ever talked to people in nurses who have actually deal with people who are about to die?
No.
And they can tell you could give you good perspective. What for example, they ask them, well, I wish I spent more time with my kids. I wish I would have done this. I wish my brother, he was sick. We had a fight, but I didn't call him.
Sure.
Those things are really, really clear to them then.
Yeah.
Than when they were going through it, because when you're going through it, you have this thing called ego that plays into it. Now, when you're in deathbed, there's no ego.
Okay.
It's all about perspective, because nothing matters now.
It sounds like
you see what I'm saying?
Sure. It sounds like you're saying, though, that in the now, the present time that we have no reliable way of determining what is the right thing. It's only much later on, hopefully, when we're at our deathbed, that we'll have any indication of what was right or what was not right.
Right. So if you kind of put yourself in that place... Mentally, what would I think if I'm in that situation where I don't have an ego, where I don't have, I'm all thinking about, what could feel right. You kind of have to put yourself in that place to kind of have perspective.
Okay.
Like, for example, right now in all our life, we have maybe disagreement with our wives, with our brothers, with
Sure.
our family.
Sure.
But what we're going through right now is clouded with our ego, where if you're in that place where you're dying, that's not clouded. It's very clear.
Okay.
So you kind of like hope that you can put yourself and try to have a perspective of, that's how I look at it.
We're out of time, but would you mind if I ask just one more question?
Yes.
Or a couple more questions?
Yeah.
You had said if you do those things, you will get yourself into the right place.
Right. The right place would be your purpose of life. Why you were created to begin with.
Why you were created to begin with.
Yes. The bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
Yes. Like, for example, like I was saying, if you're in a deathbed,
Yeah.
money is not an issue.
Okay. Sure.
But for most people, during their existence, money is a driving force. When you're following your money, you're not necessarily following what's in your heart or what your true purpose is. So for you to follow your true purpose, it's like you have to remove a lot of the ego that creates things that creates ego.
What do you get when you remove all that ego?
You get a clear picture of where you need to be.
Is that any way different than what we have, the picture that we have right now? What makes you think that the purpose of life isn't getting money at this moment? Like, for example, like you're saying the purpose of life is not ego, is not getting money. But how did you come to that determination?
Because,
and maybe there are some people who do have that as their purpose in life. How do you figure out whose purpose in life is ego and is money, if at all? Like, how can someone reliably come to those conclusions?
Well, the best example I can give you is Warren Buffett.
Oh, okay. Warren Buffett. I know about him.
He's a rich guy.
He's a very rich guy, yes.
But he lives very, very simple life.
Ah.
You know that it's not about the money. It's not how much he has. Money was his purpose. He was good at it. He was gifted. But he didn't let that money change who he is, and he still lives the same house, I think, or something, where he was born.
He's got so many, yeah.
No, actually lives the same house he was born.
Oh, okay. But he has his choice to live wherever he wants.
But that was not what he wanted. Like, he has a choice to show all this thing, but he chose not to. In fact, he's gonna give 99% of whatever his money back to charity. So that shows you, his purpose was creating money or creating wealth, but that did not cloud his goal, which is his life was that, without feeling like, oh, now I've got so much money, I'm better than anybody. He wasn't saying that. He let his experience just lead him. So this is his example I have.
When you think about your own purpose in life, have you determined that for yourself?
No,
or is that
I have
something
not.
that you can only? Is purpose to you only something that you can have upon reflection of a life that you've already lived? Or can purpose be a goal that you aspire to in this current moment?
I think you aspire, you want to get there, but you kind of have to always put yourself, okay, am I just wanting this because I want, I remember when I was a kid, I was in Africa. I was born in Africa.
Where? Because I got
Ethiopia.
family from Sudan. Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I remember my neighbors have VHS player.
Other side of the country.
Yeah,
All right,
they have a VHS player and a car.
Yeah.
And I remember
A VHS player in a car?
Yeah, my
I've never seen that
neighbors.
before.
And we didn't have it. But we did have a car. It was a Volkswagen.
Sure.
We had a really nice car. And I was telling to myself, oh my gosh, if we just had this, we would be so much happier. And I was like, oh my, you see what I'm saying? I was looking at it like, oh my gosh, if I can just have a car, just like if my family just have a car like that, or if my family have a VHS player, and now, you live here, I can get a car or whatever car I want, and I have a VHS player, whatever you want to, and then you look back, oh my gosh, what I was thinking at the time, it was like, what was I thinking?
Okay.
Those do not bring happiness.
It's
just the same way now, that's what I'm saying, now, things that I feel like that may bring me happiness. They may not bring me happiness in the long run.
It's true.
But it's something you desire, And that's where your ego plays. Is like, oh yeah, I want to have that because that guy has it.
Do you think it's possible for someone to make their own purpose, like, or do you think purpose is given to someone, and like,
I think
is it destiny that they're filling in, or do you think
so? It's like
I could be born and decide this is going to be my purpose in life. I want to be the best singer, or the best artist, or the best scientist, and I'm going to work really hard for that. I'm going to do the right things that get me to this purpose. Or do you think purpose is given to someone, maybe through like a, I don't know whatever
I
you
think
want to
purpose.
call it.
So here's the thing.
Talk to me.
You, whether you believe in God or not, you have certain gifts.
Okay.
Like you are, like for example, some people are good doing certain things better than others, and is that given to them? Yes, it's given to them. Yeah, it is given to them. Well, you can call it God gave them, or that's their natural creation, or that's
which would you call that?
I would call it. I personally would call it that's God's gift to them.
Okay.
So we all have that gifts that are assigned to us. So, for example, if you choose to develop that gift, you're going to be successful at it.
I see.
So, for example, if I don't have a gift of, let's say, running, and if I want to be an Olympic athlete, it's going to be very difficult. I'm not saying it won't happen, compared to somebody who's already gifted with running, who's maybe has a certain, body structure where you have maybe skinny legs, whatever that can let him run for, allow him to run faster than me. It's going to be a lot more difficult for me than him.
Sure.
So really, a gift does makes a difference. And that's the same gift that will allow us to find our purpose. Because when we find our purpose, that's when we feel like we're happy and content.
Can I throw something at you?
Yeah.
So we, from your perspective, we're given gifts by God, and if we follow those gifts, if we do the right things that enable us to make use of those gifts, we will find a purpose in life that was more or less ordained.
That's more like this is where you say, yeah, that's my calling.
Okay.
That's where you find your calling.
How confident are you that's true, like from like a 0 to 100% scale? Like we're 0, absolutely not true, forget everything I just said, I'm all doubt. 100%, I'm so confident, I don't need any more information. I'm 100% confident that this is the case. There's the God, here's your gifts, make use of it. 100% confident. Like, what would you say?
So you're asking me is how confident are you God exists?
No, yeah, why not then? Well, really, I want to know about the God's gift, but like, if you want to go into the existence of God.
I mean, I am 100% certain that higher power exists.
Okay.
If you want to call that God, you can call it God.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yes.
All right, so you're 100% is really, really high.
Yeah.
What got you that high?
Well, because part of it is personal experience, things you've experienced through life, things like, oh my gosh, how does this happen? You're like, the only explanation you can give, there must be like higher powers than you think. There's a higher power than what you just imagined.
So you have a personal experience that made you believe that a higher, not a specific higher power, was there a specific hire power in mind?
Well, I mean, you can say
God, Jesus, God, Christian God, Muslim God.
I mean, I'm personally Christian,
okay,
but I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying, well, you have to be Christian to feel that. But
so
I
if it
think
turned out to be Vishnu, if it turned out to be Vishnu, or
yeah, I mean, as long as there's, I personally feel like there's a higher power.
Okay.
I've been reading about law of attraction, where there's a certain rules and purpose. There's just higher power that I don't want to say control us, but there's a higher power that basically allow us to exist. And like it's like karma. The good thing you do, the more good thing happen to you, right? That's also the law of attraction. You can call it the law of God, or it's God's law.
Do you think that a personal experience is a reasonable way to come to a conclusion on whether something like a God exists or not?
Well, that and also faith.
Faith.
Faith also plays to it, right?
Okay. So if someone had faith in a God, or if someone had faith that no God exists, could they both be correct?
It takes a lot more faith to believe God does not exist than exist, by the way.
But you could use faith to get to both points, right? You could have faith that no God exists. You could have faith that a God exists. Could they both be correct?
They could be, yeah, but just like saying, you know, if you have the faith, it's like you have an insurance. And if you don't have if you have faith that you doesn't exist, you have insurance paper. You have a insurance document with no value in it.
Okay, sure.
So like, do you want to have? You can have a card you can have insurance card that says, oh yeah, this guy's insured.
Sure.
And you can have insurance card. This guy insured, but this less fake.
Yeah, I totally hear you. It sounds silly, but a person could have faith that no God exists, but it'd make no point, right?
Yeah.
But if they're using faith to come to that conclusion, does that show that faith is a reliable way to come to conclusions? If you could use faith to get to either conclusion?
Is it a reliable way?
Yeah. Could I have faith in something and be wrong, for example?
You can have faith and be wrong, yeah.
So is faith and personal experience combined? Could I have personal experience and be wrong about something?
Yeah, you can have. Remember, but I mean, I think when you have faith, you're kind of almost putting personal experience. Faith is like believing something you cannot see or experience.
I should have asked you what you meant by that.
Yeah, right.
What's faith mean?
Faith means like
believing something you can't experience.
Yes, believing something without experience or without seeing. I think there's actually a good Bible verse on it. I think
faith in the unseen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember. I can't quote you exactly what. It's believing in something without actually having to, you know, exceed or experience it.
Do you think that's a reliable way to know about something? To 100% confidence?
Well, for me, it was not just faith, but faith plus the experience.
Yeah, so both of those things
So
combined.
faith price by itself maybe can get you 90%.
Faith could get you to 90%?
Maybe this is my dispute. But, you know, but I think, you know, the experience kind of like gives you that aha, it makes sense. Okay, that's true. It gives you like that. It's like, it kind of like confirm your thought. You know what I mean? Sometimes you know, for example, sometimes you have to, you feel something, but when you see it, that kind of confirms it to you.
Yeah.
So maybe the experience kind of confirms what you already believe.
Okay. I was just talking to someone earlier today, like about 9:30. I was here when it was really cold out, and like I'm probably still shivering. But he used personal experience and faith to come to the conclusion that a different God exists, not the Christian God. He believed in Krishna.
Oh, okay. I didn't say Christian God exists.
Krishna, not the Christian
Indian
God.
guy.
Yeah,
The
Indian guy,
not the
Indian
guy, but the Indian.
Yeah.
I think it might be even she.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. I know Shiva's a she, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know about Krishna. So I asked him a little bit about that, and he gave me some information. But it seems like I could use personal experience to get to completely different gods and be 100% confident that God exists.
But you getting to higher power, right?
So you're saying regardless of the fact that they point to different places, it's the fact that they're generally
to get you to a higher power. I'm not talking about specific Christian God or Jewish God or well, it's the same thing, but like, you know, Buddhist God. I'm talking about specifically to get it to the higher power.
So you're not 100% on the Christian God. You're just 100% on the higher power.
Yeah, I'm 100% higher power exists.
Okay.
You know, I think when you're talking about Christian God personally is, you know, it's what we call Christian God. It's kind of formed and clouded by people's view throughout time. So, you know, we may not have the perfect picture of what Christian God is as much as we think. Yeah, I mean, but feeling higher power is more like, you know, it's much bigger than us. Something that exists.
What would make you change your mind?
About what?
About the existence of this God. Is it falsifiable? Like, is there anything?
The existence of God, what would it
or the higher
change?
Power? Yeah, what would make you reduce your confidence?
You know, I mean,
or make you go up even more confident, 120%, if that's even possible. Is there anything that you could?
Well, yeah, God can just come and say he can come and talk to me.
You're like, hey, what's up? Thanks for believing in me, man.
No, but like, think about this. There are people who experienced vision of God.
Yes.
And for them, that's what they need to to even feel really, really more than 100, if you want to call it more than 100% confidence.
Okay.
So some of the things that happen to you, they can even make you really, really confirm those things.
Okay. And if that happened to you, would you become even more confident? Like if you had evidence, observable evidence that this God exists, this higher power exists, would that make you even more confident?
I think it does it make you more confident? It's hard to say. If I say I'm 100% confident, it's hard to go over past that.
It is.
I think what happens usually with people who experience that, what they tend to do is they tend to make it their goal and make it their personal mission to spread that God to other people.
Sure.
I think that's the next step.
Yeah, I think
for
so.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
They become preacher or they become priest or whatever, and they'll be like, now they have, it gives them like that confidence. I think after this, more than faith, then you get the confidence to kind of.
You get the confidence to say
spread.
That you know something.
Because something
better.
when I say faith, that's personal. Now you allow you to go out.
What would you say would drop you down in your confidence that this higher power
What
exists?
would drop you to?
What would drop you from 100 to like 99.9 or anything lower?
Well,
you could still be. You could still conclude that the God exists, but you'd be more open.
The Bible is full of those people who go through. Look at Abraham. His confidence level went down when he said, when he wasn't able to, his wife wasn't able to get pregnant.
Hey,
right?
Yeah.
So he went to his, I think her name was Hagar, where she was his wife, his second wife, or no, I don't know if she was second wife. I think she was there.
It's fine.
The lady who works with them, and his wife Sarah.
There was a crisis of belief, and he reduced.
So it's common. It's like when you start feeling less confidence, you tend to off to do something different than you normally do. If I have, for example, I have the confidence I always do, let's say, pray every day. If my confidence level goes down, maybe I don't pray as much. So things do happen if you're not less confident. So
are you able to identify something that would drop you personally down on that scale a little bit?
Sometimes when you look at, human suffering, you're like, why, if God exists, why doesn't this happen? Why does it happen? Why do kids have to die the way they do? Yeah, that kind of affects you. To a way, it kind of like, it does. It does, make you question at very least.
Okay.
I know that's a little bit weird because I'm saying I'm 100% faith, and then
you don't have to stay at 100. We can, if you want to make it 99.99999%, that's totally
no,
fine.
but but I'm just saying. But that doesn't mean you don't have question. You question a lot of things.
100% means you have no questions.
Right.
100% means you are absolute.
I think I am 100% sure that God exists.
Okay. No questions.
No question.
No doubt.
Higher power exists. But I'm nowhere close to figuring out everything, how things work with God.
I think, can I try to rephrase?
Yeah.
Or say that back to you? You're 100% confident that God exists, but you are less confident with regard to the nature of that higher power.
Yeah, the role that it plays in our human, like for example, that's a big deal. Like, people say, you make a decision, God gives you willpower and you make the decision. Well, what does that mean? How is that, I don't know a lot. I don't understand it completely.
If I showed you like a keychain right now, and the keychain had like a little metal tag that says, the owner of this keychain has $12 billion. Would you believe I have $12 billion?
Will I believe you?
Yeah, would you believe I had because I had that keychain?
Probably not.
Oh, thanks you very much. What if I had $10 that I can put on the table right here? It's like, this is $10 of my $12 billion. Would you believe me then?
If you put $10?
Yeah, I put $10 on the table. It's like, I got money. Would you believe I got $12 billion?
No.
What if I showed you a Lamborghini in the parking lot? It's like, that's my Lamborghini.
Yeah, no,
I got $12 billion.
Now my confidence would go up a little. It's possible.
I got $12 billion. Yeah. Do you believe me?
I would possibly.
I could have stolen the car. I could have rented it.
But if let's say you come up with a private jet and park over there, will I believe you?
Would you believe me that I have $12 billion if I had a private jet?
My belief will go up slowly.
It would go up
as I
slowly.
see that's what the experience is saying.
Will there ever be a point where you're 100% confident that I have $12 billion? And what would it take for you to believe that?
If I see your bank statement and maybe your wealth in some ways, you like to show me, you see all that, I own it.
And make sure
Here's
nothing
my
was
title.
forged.
Yeah, then you say, you said.
It seems like you would need a lot of evidence, like demonstrable evidence, testable evidence, observational evidence to get to that 100% confidence.
Right.
But with regard to a God to get you to 100%, you're doing it on personal experience and faith.
You're right. And like I say, the personal experience was a big deal to me.
But which is the more reliable way?
Which is more
reliable
way?
Yeah, would you be willing to take $12 billion on faith and personal experience? Like, listen, I gave you a great lunch. I showed you that $10 bill. I had that keychain. Take it on faith that I got $12 billion, man. It's cake, baby. It's $12 billion in the bank. $10 right here. I can let that flow in the wind. I don't need that $10 bill. I got $12 billion, baby. Check out that Lamborghini. Don't look at the label on the back. It's from Enterprise. Don't look at that.
I see where you're going. I see what you're saying. You're saying like.
It seems like you have two standards of faith or of evidence.
I mean, so you have the faith and you have the experience.
And I'm asking which standard is more reliable. Which do you rely on the most?
I mean, I think when it comes to spiritual, you have to go with faith. I mean, that's just been my experience.
But faith is 90%.
Yeah, I mean,
confident. Has faith been used to come to a true conclusion on anything? What's the truest conclusion that we can test?
Well, we can call it gut feeling.
Okay, gut feeling.
Yeah, gut feeling can, for some people, gut feeling is very powerful.
Can gut feelings be wrong?
Yeah, it could be wrong, and it could, it's like I had a friend who just got a job offer, and he was trying to decide whether he should take the job or not.
Yeah.
And he couldn't make a decision, and he was like, I'm going to go with my gut feeling.
Okay.
Because that's the best way. And also there's something in his gut, if you want to call it, telling him this was not maybe for him. Even though, everything looks good, there's just something wasn't right. And he went with it, and a couple months later, the company filed bankruptcy.
Good.
So
good.
The point I'm making is
sometimes you can be right with gut feelings.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But sometimes you could be wrong too, right?
You could be wrong, yes, I agree. Could be wrong.
If you use a method that could be right or wrong, and you can't really tell which ones until after the fact, can you ever be really 100% confident with that kind of a method? Are you justified at being 100% confident using a method that's not 100%?
Probably.
Good.
But like I was saying, I mean, that's your insurance. Okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, would you rather believe God exists, or would you believe God doesn't exist? And which one would you? And if you were to be wrong, which one would you rather be in?
Okay, so I can throw those options out. You give me two choices.
Yeah.
But my position is a third choice.
What is it?
I don't know. And I think, for example, if I had a coin and I flip it, I catch it, it's on the back of my hand, it's either heads or tails, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's heads or tails. Do you know if it's heads or tails right now?
I don't know.
That's the perfect answer.
Okay, but
that's not only an option, you don't have to pick heads or not heads. You could just say you don't know and wait until you have better evidence.
Okay, so let's take your example. So you don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't know is in spirituality. I don't know is the same thing like I don't believe.
It's not, because if someone came to the table and said that coin's heads, I don't believe them until they can show me evidence that it's heads. I'm not saying that it's tails. I'm saying I don't believe you when it says it's heads, and I also don't know if it's heads or tails right now.
Okay, so
I think we all don't know if it's heads or tails right now.
So you're basically saying, which I understand in our phase in experience, you're completely throwing faith out of the window, and you're going strictly by evidence.
I would like to have the most reliable way to come to a true conclusion.
Right.
And I don't think faith is a reliable method to come to a true conclusion.
Would it be...
Only in the event that I can believe multiple things,
okay,
even if they're opposite, with faith.
Okay, let's say, would you have, if you were to be 99% sure, and would you use faith as the 1% to get yourself 100%?
No, because I don't think faith is a reliable way to come to any kind of conclusion. In my mind, I don't know isn't just an option, it's the best answer to come to when you don't have enough evidence to come to a conclusive decision.
So you need 100% of evidence to believe God exists.
I need 100% evidence. I would just need evidence to make me convinced that it's true.
Well, that's 100%. Like evidence. They're convinced. You need to be 100% convinced.
I got a standard of evidence, yeah. And
you need.
It would need to be met for me to believe it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But until then, my position isn't God doesn't exist or that a God does exist. My position is I don't know. You have evidence? Let's talk.
About God exists?
Yeah, or just
my
anyone,
personal
just like
experience.
Talk. True, but we know that personal experience could lead you to a wrong conclusion sometimes too, right? Is everyone that uses personal experience always right?
Experience, for example, like say, let me give you an example. I'm not saying this happened to me. Let's say you have somebody says, "Hey, I'm sick. Pray for me."
Mm-hmm.
The doctor say, "I'm about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please pray for me to be healed?"
Okay.
You pray for that person. Next day, let's say, boom, that person healed.
Oh, that's a great example.
Okay, so would you consider that as a personal experience?
I would ask them, how did they come to the conclusion that the prayer helped them?
Okay, so you don't know.
I don't know that.
You don't know that, but that's what faith. You have to. This is where faith plays. I mean, you can say, well, you can say that. Well, it's because, let's look at, like, for example, even science.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about science. Let's say a pharmaceutical company says, "Hey, we have a new medicine for this.
Okay.
Take it."
Yeah.
Those people, 10 people took it, 9 people got cured.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that's the medicine that healed
Yeah.
them?
How do you know that?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you, would you say that medicine that healed them?
I wouldn't. So I would, in the event of one test, I would still say I don't know.
How many tests do you need?
I would need a lot more than one.
Like how many?
So I actually have a degree in biochemistry, and we've done practices with FDA testing before.
Right.
You have to do certain clinical trials in what we have 3 different stages. First stage is with a very small population of people, and it's a lot more than 10. It's about 500 or so.
500?
It's about 500 on the class 1. Class 2 is about maybe 10,000 people. It's a lot of money to do these kinds of exams. You do them multiple times, and even if the quiz is like 99.9%, you take this pill, it cures it, you still got to go to class 3, baby. You still got to go to class 3. Class 3, you have the same amount of people or a little bit more, but you're doing it over a long period of time, over a year, with many different people from around the world, different kind of weight groups. Even when it's done, the FDA doesn't say this drug cures this disease. They just say it's recommended that if you have this, the tests show that you will your percentage. And it's safe, doesn't lead to a lot of other harms, and tests have shown that XYZ% of people who take this have this result that happened.
Okay.
It's never been a conclusive, you take this, you get that
So
cure.
that is enough for you to say, this is kind of evidence I need, right?
That's pretty good, reliable evidence to at least say, okay, my chances are really good if I take this is going to happen.
How many times has FDA pulled off a drug from the market?
Many times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were wrong.
They
were like, oops.
Yeah,
the tests were like...
absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely. So I would be even more heartbroken if someone did this on a matter of faith to take this pill and says, take this pill, I have a lot of faith that it's going to work. It's like, what kind of test have you done? Tests can be wrong. True, they could be, but they're more reliable than just this faith test that you're using.
So our disagreement between you and I, whether we should go with faith or with personal experience, comes down to numbers.
No.
Numbers, right? Or numbers.
May I express? May I express?
Yeah.
The issue isn't so much with numbers. Is the method testable? Because if I test something and it doesn't work, then I know that it doesn't work. And by FDA correcting themselves and saying, this drug doesn't work, pull it off the market, that's not a failure of the system that tests things. That's not a failure of the method. That's a demonstration that the method actually works, because they were able to take something that didn't actually work off the market. When something doesn't work in faith, is there any process, is there any means that you can self-correct in faith and say, actually, this guy doesn't exist at all, let's get rid of him? See, if you have a method that's testable, you can get rid of the bad results, and you can keep the good results. But if you only have faith, is there a means of falsifying the claim that a God doesn't exist? If I do all the testing in the world and just testing, no faith, I'll never come to 100% confidence on anything.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
The test method that FDA created for purpose of testing whether the medicine should be, how it should be distributed, all
Yeah,
that stuff, right?
it's a methodology of determining if this medicine is good to use or not.
Okay, so what made you think that methodology is right? I mean, that's spirituality is also somebody can create their own methodology.
True. And the question is, which methodology is the best way to come to a true conclusion?
It's what you believe with what you like. I mean, it's personality. This is, if you feel like this is my methodology works, then you go with that.
If there's someone who has a contrasting methodology that's opposite of yours and they follow it because it works using the same
maybe
method,
for them, if it works,
Yeah.
fine, it works for them, but it may not work for you.
if we were both trying to come to a true conclusion and you guys believed in different things and you had a methodology of believing whatever you want, would that be a
If you
valid
guys
way?
both agree with the same methodology, then good. Now, then you can come with that. But if you two don't have the same methodology, that
Yes.
I can have my own methodology.
Yes.
So it's like saying, who's you to ask my methodology? And you can say, who are you to ask my methodology? Because my methodology is for me.
Yeah, my goal is not to get rid of your methodology. My goal is to understand how you can get to 100% confident.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's personal experience, which is mine.
Yeah.
And faith, which is also mine.
True.
Both are mine. So the conclusion also mine.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you and I, let's come together and agree, we both have to come up with a methodology that we both agree to.
Oh.
If you don't agree with that
so it's like a personal truth. It's personally
it's
true
a personal
to you.
truth, yeah.
Are personal truths always right?
For you, yeah, if it's for you, yeah, it's right.
Okay.
For you.
If it was personally true, let's say it's personally true for me that water and gasoline are the exact same thing. Could I put Aquafina into my gas tank and drive home today?
But you and I don't agree with that.
It's personally true to me that that's the same thing.
That's for you.
This bottle of water right here is the same thing as gasoline. Would I be able to drive home? If it's personally true to me, can I drive home
if it's
on
a
that personal
belief?
truth? It's personally true to me that and gasoline are the same thing. Can I put that in my gas tank and drive home?
But here's the thing. You're comparing... I mean, I think when it comes to spirituality is not something you can define by, doing by doing, if I do this, it's gonna happen this. Spirituality takes, that's where the faith come in. It's like, it's not something you see. It's not. Faith is what you're not seeing or you're not touching. It's something that's much more than that. At least that's how I believe.
True.
Yeah. I mean.
But we both know I couldn't drive home, or even if I personally believe that to be true, I couldn't take that water bottle home in my gas tank.
No, you can't, because
there seems to be a more...
Because we all have universal agreement. That's not true.
So there's like a universal truth.
It's like saying, okay, if I drop this, it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
It's a universal law, right?
Yeah. So it seems like there's universal truths that outweigh personal truths. Is that true? Would you say that's accurate? Even if I had a personal truth?
For physical items or for things we can touch and see, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because spirituality is not something you see and touch. It's outside that though. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, that's the best example I can give
you. Is anyone validated in having a personal truth, or could I claim to be 100% confident in something that I can neither touch, see, nor test?
I mean, you can feel that, yeah. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
I would like if we ever. I think that's pretty good. I feel bad for your wife, but if we ever have this conversation again, I'm always out here. If we ever have this conversation again, it'd be cool to see. It's cool to have that belief. I don't have an issue with the belief at all, but I want to have a method to get to that belief. And maybe after this talk, if it'd be cool if you could think about it. I know I'm here and I'm not going to change it, and I'm not going to change you on that position. I think you should keep the conclusion. But I'd like to know that method that you used to get there, is that really a reliable way, or is there a more reliable way to get to the same conclusion? And if so, please share that with me.
I will.
Thank you so much for the talk. I had a great talk.
Yeah. Are you still doing the Saturday walk?
I'm still doing the Saturday walks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm meant to come. I'm going to probably start coming now that it gets warmer.
Rachel's your wife's name one more time? What was her name? I'm sorry.
Joseph.
Joseph, of course. Yeah. I was going to guess. I was going to say Joseph.
Hi.
Yeah, that's my name. Don't make me look bad. Don't make me look bad. Anyway, I had a great time, Joseph.
Oh, it's good to talk to you, man.
See you, man.
Yeah, you always here on Saturday?
I'm here on Sundays most of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
See you, man.